Hello Internet, I'm Jackie Fox. Welcome to Politically Non-Binary, where I am in the middle of a series on how Buddhist philosophy can help you improve your life and your relationship with a changing modern world and increasingly pervasive technologies. In this video, we'll explore the Buddhist conception of control and how the attempt to control that which is outside of our control can be a source of suffering for ourselves and those around us. We'll link this to the concepts from our previous video about the influences of media and consumerism as well. So let's dive in. In Buddhism, suffering is a fundamental concept. It's one of the Four Noble Truths. The first, actually. The Buddha taught that suffering is an inherent part of human existence, and it arises from our attachments, our desires, and our attempts to control our lives and surroundings. The Four Noble Truths, which form the core of Buddhist teachings, explain that suffering is caused by craving and attachment. Our desire to control outcomes and cling to expectations leads to frustration, disappointment, and suffering when things don't go as planned. I feel like I live that last paragraph now that I've become a parent, because you can really see kids fly off the rails when they don't get their way, because they had built up this idea in their mind that they were going to get exactly what they wanted, and then they go to ask for it, they don't get it, and all of a sudden everything falls apart, and you can see the suffering take hold. The attempt to change things that are outside of our control is a significant source of suffering, although it's not the only one, and maybe we'll talk more about some of the other ones later on. In Buddhism, it's understood that much of our suffering comes from trying to change or influence external circumstances, people, or events. This need for control often extends to our relationship, work, and even our bodies and minds. Though those latter two things we certainly have a lot more control of than others. When we try to control these things that are beyond our control, we create not only stress and anxiety for ourselves, but also imposing our will on others will lead to conflict and disharmony, as well as feelings of disenfranchisement in others. I mean, you don't like it when other people try to control your life, so why would other people not feel suffering when you attempt to do so yourself? This struggle for control disrupts our mental peace, but also affects all of those around us. In our previous video, we discussed the concept of the mental garden and how media and consumerism can overwhelm our minds. The constant bombardment of advertising and propaganda attempts to control our thoughts and desires, leading to a sense of identity that's rooted in consumerism, rather than our true selves. We begin to become embodied by the brands that we like, the fandoms that we are a part of, instead of anything that is intrinsic to ourselves, our lives, or our way of being. This external control, fueled by the media, plants seeds in our mental garden that can overshadow our true purpose and values. It's crucial to be mindful of the content we consume and recognize how it influences our thoughts and behaviors. Even if we enjoy the content, and sometimes especially if we do, we need to retain our ability to watch or listen critically. Does our love of sad content affect our mood and thoughts in a negative way, planting negative seeds for later nourishment and reaping? Could it be a good idea to take a break and reflect as we watch or listen to content, allowing ourselves to pre-process the ideas that we've just come in contact with, giving us potential starting points to critically examine later in a reflective meditation? Buddhism teaches that letting go of control and expectations leads to less suffering. By embracing the impermanence of life and accepting things as they are, we can cultivate a sense of peace and equanimity. This doesn't mean passivity, but rather a mindful acceptance of reality, as well as what we can and can't expect to be able to do to change it. In Zen Buddhism, for example, meditation practices like Zazen help practitioners cultivate this acceptance by observing thoughts without attachment. This practice of just sitting allows us to see the futility of trying to control every aspect of our lives. Another important aspect of meditation is how it can lead to greater control over one's mind, and by extension, your life, stress, and emotions. It's critical to understand that this control isn't absolute, but it is a significant benefit and product of a healthy meditative practice. Let's explore how this concept is viewed in Zen, secular, and Wan Buddhism. In Zen Buddhism, meditation, particularly Zazen, is seen as a way to gain deeper insight and control over the mind. By sitting in meditation and observing thoughts without attachment, practitioners learn to let go of distractions and focus on the present moment. This practice helps us develop a calm and centered mind, allowing for better management of our own stress and emotions. Which can allow for better management of our own stress and emotions, which can also lead to us causing less suffering for those around us when things go wrong. Zen teachings emphasize that the mind is like a restless monkey, constantly jumping from one thought to another. Through consistent meditation practice, we can tame this monkey mind, leading to greater mental clarity and emotional stability. For example, Zen masters have often taught that mindful breathing can bring us back to the present moment and help us gain control over our emotions when we have lost that control, just by taking a moment to center ourselves. In secular Buddhism, the focus is on the practical benefits of meditation, such as reducing stress and increasing self-awareness. Mindfulness meditation, which involves paying attention to the present moment without judgment, is a common practice. This type of meditation helps individuals gain better control over their thoughts and reactions, which also leads to improved emotional regulation. Research in psychology supports the benefits of mindfulness meditation. Studies have shown that regular practice can decrease symptoms of anxiety, depression, also enhancing attention and improving overall well-being. Practitioners often report feeling more in control of their lives and better equipped to handle stress after mindful meditation. And if you want some more details on the physiological and mental benefits of meditation, we covered that in the last video as well. Wan Buddhism integrates traditional meditation with daily life, emphasizing the importance of controlling one's mind in order to live ethically and mindfully. Wan Buddhism teachings encourage practitioners to use meditation as a tool for self-improvement and social engagement. By cultivating this clear and calm mind, individuals can make more thoughtful and compassionate decisions instead of just reacting to things as they happen. In Wan Buddhism, meditation is not just about personal tranquility, but also setting yourself up to be able to contribute positively to society. The practice of gratitude combined with meditation helps individuals stay grounded and focused. The Fourfold Grace encourages practitioners to express gratitude for parents, humanity, nature, and the laws of the universe, promoting a balanced and compassionate approach to life. Developing a healthy meditative practice can lead to greater control over one's mind, which in turn affects their life, stress, and emotions. Here's some key benefits of a regular meditative practice. Improved emotional regulation, enhanced focus and concentration, greater self-awareness, increased resilience in the face of stress, as well as compassion and empathy. It's important to remember that the control gained through meditation isn't absolute. Life is inherently unpredictable, and some things will always remain beyond our control, even if they happen within our minds or our own bodies. However, by developing a healthy meditative practice, we can better navigate these uncertainties and help maintain a sense of inner peace and stability, even in unstable times. Meditation in Zen, secular, and Wan Buddhism offers valuable tools for gaining greater control over our minds and lives, though while I have focused on those particular branches of Buddhism for my own video, this is just because these are the ones that I was specifically exposed to. I'm sure other forms of Buddhism have similar practices and similar benefits. By incorporating these practices into our daily routines, we can reduce stress and improve emotional well-being, but it's still only one tool in the Buddhist toolkit. Through meditation, it can become possible to clear your mind, focus, and then think critically about control and its relationship to 2025 and beyond. In the modern world, filled with new technologies and new problems, reducing suffering requires mindful practice. Here are some ways to incorporate Buddhist principles into your daily life to alleviate suffering. Mindful acceptance. Practice accepting situations as they are without trying to control them. This can reduce stress and create a sense of inner peace. Limit media consumption. Be selective about the media you consume. Focus on content that aligns with your values and avoid sources that overwhelm or manipulate your thoughts. Consumption should be an active process, not a passive and uncritical one. It's also important to set realistic expectations. You should manage your expectations by understanding that not everything will go as planned. Embrace the uncertainty and impermanence of life. But finally, it's important to cultivate compassion. Practice compassion towards yourself and towards others, because often if you are uncompassionate with yourself, this will come out and manifest as being uncompassionate towards others as well. You have to start with yourself, but that compassion cannot end with you. It needs to radiate outward into the community. Recognize that everyone is trying to navigate their own struggles, and that controlling others is never the solution. In conclusion, the Buddhist conception of control and its relationship to suffering offers valuable insights for navigating the complexities of modern life. By letting go of control and embracing mindful practices, we can reduce our suffering and find greater inner peace. And, going into 2025, it feels like a lot of people out there on both sides of the political spectrum need all of the inner peace that they can get, and even the people who aren't a part of the political spectrum, even the politically non-binary, need this sort of peace right now. Because, no matter how you feel about Donald Trump or the Trump administration, things are uncertain at this moment. And uncertainty can be scary. It is through these practices, though, that we learn to deal with that uncertainty and not to let it control us. Because we can't control the uncertainty, but we can stop it from dictating how we live our lives. We can stop it from controlling us. So in this video, I really hope you learned something. If some of these concepts felt a little bit out of pocket, I really encourage you to watch the last 2 episodes in this series where I covered the introduction and evolution of Buddhism and how it reached the West and how it has evolved to what we typically see it as in the West and in America. But also a long-form video on meditation that'll really help you understand what to do with this. In this video, I largely reference meditation as one of the answers to having a better relationship with control and a better understanding of it. But it's not the only one, and control isn't the only road to suffering. So there's definitely more to cover in future videos, and if you're interested in that, even though I don't necessarily have a specific plan for a next video, let me know what you thought. Maybe you have a plan for the next video. Let me know in the comments. But remember to like and subscribe. Definitely ring the bell, because I do release a lot of controversial content outside of this, which I'm sure seems kind of vanilla. And, that gets me deprioritized in the YouTube algorithm pretty bad. So ringing the bell can make sure that you see my content when it comes out, because sometimes that can be a little bit more difficult than I think it should be. But with all that being said, if you are grateful to the channel, you could express that gratitude by supporting me on Patreon or Ko-fi with a small monetary donation. But my name is Jackie Fox, no space, no underscore on both of those platforms. But what I would really prefer is if you go to Amazon and look for my books. Look for brightly colored covers, a certain love of orange in the way that my name is presented on the cover, science fiction, fantasy, and also kind of near-term realistic cyberpunk. I write in several genres. I'm sure you'll find something that you'll enjoy if you like this channel. And while I only get a couple dollars per book, because I really get shafted by Amazon if I'm being frank about it, it is my favorite way to receive support for this channel, because it just makes me feel good that people actually purchase my content. So if you want to make me feel a little bit of gratitude towards the world, you can purchase one of my books. I will definitely appreciate that. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you watch the other videos in the series if you haven't. And with all that being said, I'll see you in the next one.